Welcome back, Wolves fans. Sorry, it's been a while. The last two games I couldn't handle. Tonight I almost couldn't handle for a different reason. Um, but it's good to be back. Ashwin, welcome back. It's been maybe a week or two since we've seen each other.
Yeah,
And a lot has happened in that amount of time. Not a lot of good, but tonight we got a little bit of good. So,
we got a
uh,
little bit of good. We got a little bit of good. I think the most important thing is the W on the
yes.
on the left column.
Yes. Yep, and even though we're at the point, I know we're if you watched our last episode, we were probably very hopeful for a or for a 6 seed or even a 5 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Some things have come to fruition. The Jazz did fall. The Mavs went all the way up to the 3 seed. The Jazz are now the six, or no, well, actually, the Jazz are the 5 seed now since Denver lost. Um, but the Wolves lost a lot of games. They lost 4 out of 5, now 4 out of 6. But Wolves win. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. We do this after most games. Like the stream if you haven't already. I already did with 12 of my burners. Just kidding. And
No, no, no.
speaking of which, and
Good work, it's the grind.
let's get into it. So, um, this game was great, terrible, meh, and everything in between. I mean, like, every emotion for this team, and I'm sure Denver fans, was in this game. Because we started, it was very eerily similar to one of the recent games we started. I can't even remember who we played now, but it was like we started off okay and somehow we're up, but then they just came storming back. Kind of happened here, but we held some. I mean, we didn't. I don't want to say we held our composure because that did not happen, but we held enough of that composure, barely. But even still, it's more of like Denver choking in moments. They're taking threes and just missing open threes. The Timberwolves live and die by players being injured or other teams missing open threes. It's sad.
Gerald said, needed this one emotionally. I feel like I needed this one to survive the night. Like I would have seen
Oh,
you in another lifetime had this been an L. This game had it all, as you say. I feel like the most important player on the floor was none other than Memphis's own, traded for the GOAT, Jarrett Culver, Patrick Beverly. I am obsessed with this motherfucker, man. I'm
mm-hmm.
obsessed with him. For every D level play that he makes on offense, he backs it up and tenfold on defense. And he basically is the front man in the battle line. He is singing the loudest in the church's choir, and he's like ringing the bell as loud as you can, getting those donations to
Yeah,
Salvation Army.
yeah.
I feel like he literally willed this team into a win. We do not win this game without that kind of energy, like emanating out of one being and then pushing into other players. Our bench was solid as hell. I have nothing but positive things to say about our bench.
Mm-hmm.
And the big three came to play tonight. While they weren't all together,
Yeah.
they had their parts. Like, it was great to see just a box score that made sense.
Yeah.
To a team that we pay for. So
For the first time this year, the box score probably looks somewhat like it should. Um, I mean, going into the fourth, it didn't, because we had Ant with like 4 points going into the fourth,
sure.
and he was 1 of 9 or 1 of 10. It was not good. But then he went off in the fourth when we needed him, and then D'Lo even hit a couple shots or 1 or 2 shots in the fourth too that were crucial. Cat hits. Well, he had 1 3 that like rattled in and out crazily, but Cat controlled himself finally after 36 minutes. Not even 36 minutes because I don't even know what did he end up playing. He only played 31 minutes. I mean, it was just like I can't. There's too many thoughts going on in my head right now because we had every flaw of this team come out tonight. We had every positive of this team come out. When Towns goes and gets fouls immediately, he gets fouls immediately. So actually, There's too many angles in this game. We started the game and he shoots like 6 of 6, 7 of 7 or something, and he gets like 13 points, and then he gets 2 fouls right away. Boom, done. And then he comes back in the second, gets a foul immediately within 10 seconds of being on the court. Regardless of whether it's BS or not, Towns put himself in the situation to get that hook by Jokic. You can't do that. Clearly, you were the player of the night with how you were shooting, your playmaking, everything was working, you know. But you kind of said it.
The reason why I'm bald.
Yeah, you kind of said it well. I mean, the bench came to play tonight, and that has been the catalyst for our team a lot. Other than Patrick Beverley, I mean, the bench coming to play and getting buckets, and not only that. I mean, I know Nas had like 17 fouls tonight, but he was able to like kind of hold his own. I mean, I don't want to say this was like a great Nas game, but like he was in there and not awful, and that was what we needed in a game against a Jokic type center. And then DeMarcus Cousins gets 4 fouls and a tee within like 2 minutes. I mean, there are too many thoughts flowing through my head right now.
This is going to be a pretty uncomposed,
Yes.
off the rails type of show.
Yes.
I feel like I have a lot of to say that might overlap with yours, but like I don't even know how to really phrase like a sentence here.
Yeah, me too.
It was also really nice to see a change in demeanor where we're rattling the other team, and the other team is responding to us. Yeah, they were going ham in the post. Yeah, like 8 for 8, 10 for 10 or whatever for Jokic early in the game, and Aaron Gordon was getting like an all-star style number in treatment, and even Will Barton was making a couple shots early. But Will Barton is Will Barton. He's ass. And I'm so happy that he has a starting role for the Denver Nuggets, because I don't think we win this game if Will Barton is some other player on the court.
Yeah.
But anyways, what a crazy game. I feel like while Ant only really kind of like showed production-wise in the fourth quarter, which was desperately needed. There were so many reasons why we won this game, but Ant is clutch in that when it counted. He's playing like a Wancho tier level player when he's doesn't know what to do with the ball, doesn't know what to do with his hands, doesn't know where to be. He's stagnant on offense. He sits there. He's basically frozen. And when he takes his shots, he's like 4 seconds too late, and he's on halftime speed. It's really crazy. But when he sees one shot go in, it just clicks.
Yeah,
something else turns.
He's crazy.
When he's on, we are a different team.
Yeah.
The start of the game, I missed it. But when I was watching box score wise, and when I'm looking through right now live, like the play-by-play, is D'Lo 100% from the field, running transition 3, like contained defense, and it looked like this was ours for the taking because D'Lo's come to play. Cat has 100%, and we're running up 40 points in the first quarter. Like, we're gonna win this game by attrition if that's what's going like the DNA for us, right? But man, every other possession was just a back and forth swing, because here comes the Nuggets. Anytime we score, the Nuggets score right back. Anytime we pull ahead just slightly, the Nuggets come roaring back. We got ahead 12? They come right back. We get a little cocky, they come right back. It was just an interesting shift. When Beverly's off the court, we lose composure. When Cat comes off the floor, we lose structure on offense. When D'Lo gets off the floor, I feel like we're a better team sometimes. I don't know. It's like, it's so confusing. Break this game down for me.
Yeah, I mean, everything you're saying is facts. Especially your fact about Ant. He hits one shot and it's just game over for him. Like, he takes over and it doesn't matter. There was a point where he didn't get the. Also, fun thing about Ant is, like, he's out there in the fourth quarter. This is still a game. We have 8 minutes left, and he's like smiling on offense. Like, D'Lo, he's trying to get the ball from D'Lo, and he won't let it happen. Or like D'Lo didn't do it. But man, it was like he's just out there smiling. He's like, he wants the ball, and I'm like, I want to give it. I want it. But I can't touch on every point that's in my head. Like, I want to keep somewhat of composure myself for the show. But I think in general, this is just now. Are we going to be the 7th seed? Probably. Like, there's a high possibility. I mean, basically, we have to win every single game. beyond now, we actually do have a quite easier schedule. I mean, we've only got 4 games left. It's the Rockets, the Spurs, who are fighting right now, the who else? The Wizards, and then the Bulls on the last game of the season. So overall, that's like that's a decent schedule for us if we wanted to make a run for the 6th seed, and we're going to. But you just can't afford to have these other teams. You just can't have these other teams win games. Which this was your last game where you had major control over one of those teams losing. So thank goodness you won it. And also, regardless of whether or not this helps us in the way to a 6th seed, or if it just continues to keep us in the 7th seed, this is just a good win. I mean,
it was a must win.
Yeah, it was a must. It was a must win. I was, I looked at the Nuggets Twitter before the game, and I can't find the exact tweet now, but basically said this is like the biggest game of the season for us.
Sure.
And I was like, wow. I mean, we keep saying that on our show. The Timberwolves keep saying that on their Twitter and stuff like that, how big games are. But like other teams, I feel like when we've gone up against them, they don't really care. But to see that come out of like a Denver Nuggets like official post was kind of like, okay, this is a game that like they're taking very. I mean, not that we didn't think they were taking it seriously, but like they are officially taking it seriously, and we are officially taking it seriously. This is a playoff game. This is for all instances, like all purposes, this is a playoff game, and we just won on the road against a team that is about the same level as us, in the same tier as us, as their injured selves right now. But it's just a big win. I mean, it's just a big win, even if it doesn't actually earn you anything towards a 6th seed.
I'm looking at the stat line, the box scores. They tell such a remarkable story. Like, we'll break down quarter by quarter even, but the stat lines tell such an amazing story. We have the 2 biggest stat lines in my stat pieces of a stat line, in my opinion, are the 15 points from Malik Beasley off the bench and 15. 6 steals from Patrick Beverley.
That's insane.
I haven't seen an effort from a single player like that in a long time, but just the way that he pressed up on Jokic, the way that he was reading passing lanes like a free safety, what I've been kind of like urging for in our defense, because we just can't contain. We're so small. We have to play a different style. We have to play a little bit more edgy and aggressive, and then tilt the other team. We let them do 100 times out of 100 what they want to do every time.
Yeah.
We just are just containments. Like when we're up 7 or up 3 with 2 minutes to go, and some, I don't know, what are we gonna say? Carson Edwards has, well, who's a good I'm sorry, who's a good quarterback here?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady has the ball.
Yeah.
2 minutes to go. We're up 3. All we're doing is containing the deep play, right? They're going to get everything else. They're going to get all the short yardage. They're going to get all like the mid 20-yard plays. Just contain the deep play and keep them on inbounds. That's how we were playing. They can do whatever the fuck they want. We just are trying to stop the big play. But the big play doesn't really exist in basketball until like the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Jokic, unbelievable performer, man. He's an insane talent.
Yeah.
But he gets a lot. He gets a lot of help with the refs.
He does.
Monte Morris, Aaron Gordon, like the players that these guys, I wouldn't say they're scrubs. They're not scrubs. They are phenomenal players. But these guys, with any other player, not Jokic, they're not even like sniffing the 10th seed.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's why, for me, not that I care about any of these awards really, but like for MVP conversations and things like that.
It's Jokic.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I view MVP as, okay, what team is nowhere near the success level they are without that player, And it's like, okay, if you take, I mean, this is why you can make arguments for certain players every year, but like Jokic, without Jokic on that team, and especially if they don't have Murray or MPJ, like there's nothing, there's just nothing. Not to say that I don't like Monte Morris. I do like Monte Morris. I just have this like personal thing against Bones Highland, and I 100% blame Dave Benz. But it's Bones Highland, he's coming to play lately over the last like month or two. I mean, he's getting like 20-point games. It's insane. He plays with such confidence. And they've got these other players on their team that are like filler, but they're contributing. But without Jokic, this team is definitely not a 6 seed, not a 7 seed, not an 8 seed. maybe not a 9 or 10 seed. So, it's I do feel he's the MVP just because of, I mean, he just affects the game so greatly. And the thing
Yeah.
about the fouls too is like he does get help for sure. I'm not debating that. But it's more so that like cuz they are fouls. It's just that it's like this isn't called for everybody. Cuz for example, offensively and defensively, DeMarcus Cousins comes in, and sure, he has some plays where after he's gotten a couple chippy, like, or not chippy fouls, but like ticky tack fouls, then he starts throwing elbows because he's mad. So he changes his aggressiveness to do that. But like Cousins comes in, and it's like a different refereeing happening. Like he's getting called for fouls that Jokic does every play,
Yeah.
but gets away with. It's like it's frustrating.
Yep.
I can imagine it's frustrating for DeMarcus Cousins. I
It is.
imagine it's frustrating for the opponent players.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, right now in my mind, he's the MVP.
I mean, refereeing is not an easy job here, especially not in the NBA, but there's no consistency.
No.
There's no boys allowed either, apparently. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, the stress of this game. I'm still like my heart. I can feel my heart still. It's like slowly calming down as I'm talking, hearing my monotone voice. But it's just, I don't know. I feel like coming into these, like the last 10 to 12 games, we picked this portion as like, oh boy, like, are we coming out of this winners or losers? And we were just about there. We were just about there to be called losers. And PG and Kawhi potentially on deck, and the Lakers probably with the resurgence of some kind, or the Spurs. I don't know. I don't trust it.
Please, Spurs.
Please, Spurs, but I don't trust it.
Yeah, I don't either.
And so a fan can't trust it. What about like the players prepping for a game? What about like the coaching staff kind of getting the team ready mentally? It's like, okay, we got a game plan. We can come out the gates up 17, no problem. Let's keep this energy going. Let's lose by fucking 25 or whatever in the second half. This complete turnaround in other games. And we get stomped. And it doesn't feel good. It feels like everything led up to this moment, and not for a reason, but for a bitch slapping. It's like we should have persevered. We should have endured through this like years ago and see our stars come to play and nip this in the butt. But these losses really put a heavy toll on what this potential could be this season. This was nice to rebound because from those losses can come some growth, but you got to respond. You got to react, and you got to push through. And we didn't see it last game. We didn't see it really much against Boston. We saw just like the first quarter.
Yeah.
It's nice to see this, like the two-man Cat and D'Lo say, this game is on us tonight, and just announce a presence. And then Beverly with the steals, Vando with the O boards and the box out positioning, and just his all-around amazing play. 2 fouls, by the way, early and then never again. And then our bench players came, and Naz Reid got the benefit, like the brunt of like a DeMarcus Cousins whistle. But like our bench just kept us kind of, instead of out, kept us within reach, within striking distance, in case Denver goes on a run.
Yeah, and you're talking about the previous games, and it like when we were going up against Boston and Toronto, those are 2 good teams. Not that the Denver Nuggets aren't a good team, but like they're very good teams right now that are very hot. And we actually held our own for times in those games, but as you're saying, like it just goes away in an instant. And I mean, it is hard for it's hard for the fans for sure to stay positive in those moments. I'm glad we end the season with some easier teams for the last 4 anyways. Just because we could be in for kind of a disastrous play-in situation. I've been pretty down on the play-in situation for weeks now, but even before we were playing good teams. I am weirdly kind of excited now. I shouldn't be, This is foolish of me to like think that this is going to be fun. But I think it'll be good to end the season, regular season, on somewhat of a high note, assuming we can win the majority of our last few games. Because imagine, I mean, you come out of this season having 47 wins or more. Like that's a win. It doesn't matter. I mean, if 6 other teams have 47 or more wins, oh well, you played well. And you have to take it as a W. I am one to jump to conclusions on this team, and I am always too quick on the trigger for rebuild.
Yeah.
That is like my problem.
Oh,
I am ready to do that at any moment. But I do think it's important that even if we have a terrible play-in situation where we lose both play-in games at home, if you're coming out of the season winning 47 plus games, you got to take it as somewhat of a W, or just progress. And then next season is the defining season for the team as it is currently constructed, because right now you're not making any crazy moves, but before the deadline next year you have to be a good team, otherwise there's no reason keeping it. So I'm not going to go down a rebuild path right now, but I did want to catch up on some chat comments. I saw some earlier. Ian, welcome and goodbye. I saw you're going to bed. But JBX, this is one that I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit. Obviously, we're deep into the show, but that's Cat's only flaw. I believe you were talking about the fouling. He seems to have dropped the complaining to the refs a bit. Yeah, the stray voltage has dropped off considerably. Imagine if he could drop the fouls, we'd get him 40 plus minutes. And that's what you got to hope for in the playoffs. I mean, and that's, you can't say that at this point in the season. You can't say, well, I hope we do good. Like, I hope we start fixing our errors in the playoffs. Like, no, you're fine tuning in the playoffs. You're not trying to completely change something that has been an issue all season. Now, to your point, we've been critical of Cat in the past. He has been a lot better with the stray voltage. He has been phenomenal offensively. I mean, he is like playing crazy.
16 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
We're seeing a weird dip of like insane production in the first quarter, and then just like marginalized, if not relegated to the bench for the rest of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was incredible to see that, though. Like, go ahead. So sorry to interrupt, though.
No, I mean, it's just like if we have a Cat that's not fouling, and I've said this before, you've said this before, what is there really a lot of value to the extra defense that Towns is playing to get those fouls? Like, no. So like, just stop. I mean, like, the block he had tonight was nice because there was no chance of a foul happening with him,
But then it went on a 17-3 run, man.
Yeah.
He got really into himself, and then they went on a 17-3 run.
That's true. But, it's like, we don't need this extra defense, this, like, poking at the ball as you're behind Jokic and stuff like that as he's taking up the court. Like, you just have to be smarter. And then, I mean, I'm not going to get into this craziness, but, like, after the game, he's like, adversity hits, and you like, big players step up in the big moments. Cat, like, you did not step up tonight. Like, sure, you played great other than the fouls, but, like, do you realize you almost lost us this game again? It's just like the Phoenix game where he took himself out of the game, and it's like, okay, what do we do now? Because now we're playing one of the better teams, and we have no chance because Nas is our backup center, and not a knock against Nas, but like, Nas is not even 10% of Towns. So, it's like, I just hate that he says stuff like that, because that shows me that he doesn't understand. He just doesn't get it. And when it comes playoff time, that's when, like, the men come and they, like, force you to do things that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
He's going to go into these situations where he's going to get 2 fouls right away. He's going to, he's going to try to do everything. He's going to try to be batting at the ball, stealing, doing all these things, and they're going to be called for fouls. He's going to be put in situations that, that are going to be situations that he normally fails, and he's going to have to figure out a way to win. Yes, men do come.
I feel like we should be bringing Gerald Becker on repeat here as not just a guest, but like as a permanent, like co-host here. The last few comments he just said are gold, liquid, and I'm going to read them out loud here. Gerald Becker a few minutes ago wrote, the last 15 games or so just feel like Towns comes out hot, and then we get way up and he can't play the rest of the game and is in panic slow slide to a loss or barely a win. And then he goes on to say, it feels like a team with gaping holes that should have just made a move at the trade deadline instead of chanting chemistry and caps. These aren't big asks though. This is like a fanfic. Oh, this is like right into my veins here. Let's not give him too much credit. I mean, just don't foul, don't complain, don't wig out. These are very simple changes. He could do at any moment. He just doesn't want to. D'Lo even says that Cat loves this stuff. I'm watching this game and being like, just stand tall. All you need to do is stand tall. All you need to do is put your butt out and box out. And all you need to do is run that simple play and don't stray. Don't lead astray. Because what happens is Ant rubs you off that energy. Like Ant watches you do all these things. He can't do it because he knows that he's so reliant. And when you're off, when you're on, he's getting buzzed. He's getting energized. He's getting amped, right? He's rooting for you. And then you can pass to him. And then you can get him involved. But when you're out off of the court, like now it's on him. Now the pressure's on him. And now the defense is reacting to double him or put the strong defender on him. He's having a hard time getting going. I'm not defending Ant here. I'm just saying there's a ripple effect here. Not only are you now a detriment to your team when you're off the court, other players just can't operate in the same vein. And we saw the Clippers with Paul George come back. Yeah. Holy crap, they look insane.
Yeah, suddenly.
All the players are falling into place the way that they need to be. And Reggie Jackson can be the second or third option.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the dude with the ball in his hands being like, oh, I guess I have to shoot here.
Yeah. And, Ant, I think we've come to learn this over the season, but he needs to be nurtured. He is somebody that if he can be in a system where it is successful and he is not having to be the player, I think that's beneficial to him. Now, at the same point, I kind of view it in a way where it's like, oh man, if Ant was the leader of this team, like maybe that would be better for him. So I guess I'm kind of in between, but like, what you're saying just makes sense, and I may be trying to like rephrase it in a different way, basically. But if Ant can be out there and not play well, like he did for the beginning of this game, but if Cat is out there shooting like he's shooting tonight, especially if he doesn't have the foul trouble, like what does it matter? What does it matter if Ant doesn't do anything? Because then it's not like, oh, Ant, you're such a failure. You're supposed to carry this franchise. You're Wiggins. Instead of that conversation, it's look at how great Towns is. Look at how great D'Lo is. And then Ant can naturally kind of at his own pace become his own player, which may be the player of this team someday. I don't know. But and like evidence by tonight, the fourth quarter came and Ant showed up. So
yeah, it wasn't without its struggles though. A lot of the players had their moments of willing shots to go in. A lot of plays like, oh, just cringe, just please miss that overhand dunk, Will Barton. Just please keep shooting. Please do everything in your power to do that. And let Bones Highland shoot because he was 2 for 12 from 3. He does not have a set shot yet.
He was 2 for 12 from 3. Holy cow.
Yeah. So we were letting the right people kind of take some of the shots. But when Jokic, Gordon, Morris had the ball, it was just hard to contain. They are just beaming with confidence in terms of what can happen. When Jokic has the ball in his hands, so much can happen. There's a lot of talking about the Nuggets, but man, like they are going to be looking pretty good here when Murray and MPJ come back.
They really are. Yeah, they're a 6 seed
looking at the fourth quarter though. Just kind of like a breakdown. We shot 6 for 10 from 3.
Oh,
we won this game by 6. We won this game by 6. That's like 2 threes, man. Yeah. We outscored them like 7 threes. We doubled up in steals. We matched them on rebounds. We matched them, just in pace. We matched them in pace. Like, okay, what is Timberwolves basketball? It's getting out in transition, playing hands all over the court, defense. And yeah, Cat needs to shoot. Cat needs to take over this game. Like, I feel like we saw like a nugget to kind of just like ride hope with coming into the play-in games. Because if we lost this kind of game, like all hope is lost, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because how do we like bounce back from shit like this, playing like less than teams like
Well, yeah.
Houston and shit? Right? Like, how can we cover and like build on something like that? I don't
Yeah,
know.
and I think you know, I was thinking of it in these last 6 games, including tonight. Um, you know, before these last 6 games, we went on a stretch of very, 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 very easy games where we went crazy good. You know, I mean, we were a very good record coming out of the All Star break, like 10-1 or something like that. We weren't playing that many good teams. We played a couple in there, but it wasn't really that many good teams. And then we get to this point where we had 6 games, or I think it was 6 games. I should have gone back in the VOD to see what we were talking about going into these 6 games. You know, like what did we want to have happen? What were we looking for? Because
3-3.
obviously, yeah, you want to win at least half. I mean, obviously, if you're really serious, but you definitely can't get swept. And weirdly, we were close to being swept. I mean, we went 2-4, but like this was not an easy 2-4. And a little bit of that like mental, a little bit of that confidence that you may have had coming out of the All-Star break. It's like, oh, we went on this crazy game of 6 games or 6 game stretch against real teams for finally, and we almost went 1-5. You know, we almost went 0-6.
That's
What?
right.
Yeah.
Holy shit. No, we almost did.
Yeah. And so those games, I mean, that would have been such a confidence killer going into the playoffs, because then it's like, okay, sure, yeah, like you're saying, like we can go up against the Rockets, we can go up against the Spurs and win, sure, whatever. But what does that prove? That proves that you're better than a lottery team. I hope so. I mean, you have so much money into these top 3 players, and not only that, you do have skilled players. You know, there's no reason for this team not to at least be where we are this season every year. So it just would have been pretty devastating to lose this game. I will say that I wouldn't have been so devastated. It would have just been a total shift in my expectations for the rest of the year. I would have not cared about the playoffs. I would have not really viewed any seeding as anything really at that point. Just I mean, I guess luck or something like that. It would have changed my mind a lot. Not that one game changes the entire season, but like this just changed a lot for me tonight, because I was ready to go down a different path and kind of start thinking. I mean, yesterday and today, I'm looking up like basketball reference, like, oh, what, like D'Lo's expiring next year, thank God. That's like my thought process going into tonight, because he'd played so bad recently. And I mean, luckily he came to play, and luckily we won. We needed it, because that'll give us just a little bit of hope going in, because then these last couple games, if we win against like the Rockets, the Spurs, the Wizards, and the Bulls, I'm not saying we're going to win every game, but like if we win some of those games, it doesn't feel like, oh, we're just playing bad teams. It's like, oh no, we're actually good because we beat the Nuggets. But yeah, frustrating. But we won. I wanted to reach out. What is so Aston's office hours, rebounds and assists were on point, even though he was 1 of 9. That is true. He was getting quite a few. Especially I felt like rebounds. I don't even know what he ended. Yeah, wow, he had 8 rebounds and 7 assists. Wow, yeah, it felt like a lot. I didn't know if that was just me grasping for things or if that was accurate, but it was accurate.
Accurate.
Do you want to jump into tier list?
Yeah. As we jump in to the tier list, I just want to say shout out to all of you guys for sticking with us throughout the whole season.
Yeah.
Even those 50-point losses, we almost had one in Boston. And just hit that like, or just like, I don't care. Share. Tell your mom and folks about this. Yeah, that's it. And sorry for that, but it's like that was a really emotional game, and I'm just kind of feeling good about seeing the support you guys give us, and then just being here and doing this, and kind of having like we have a stake in this, you know, all together. We have like a stake in the success or the well-being of our team. Speaking of well-being, I kicked everyone's butt in the over-under. I predicted that D'Lo would go over 15.5 points, and he did with 24. I predicted that Ant would go over with 2.5 threes. He did with just 3. I would also predict that Jokic would go over with combo of rebounds and assists at set at 22.5. He had 27 fucking rebound and assist combo. And Wolves went under with 4.5 players with the block. We had 3. Anywho, to the tier list.
To the tier list.
It's a wild tier list, by the way. Let me just say, there's barely any unanimous.
Oh, really? Oh, was there a tier list in the Discord? Okay,
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't even notice. Well, cool. So there's only 9 players tonight, and I've only got 7. Oh, we have to have Malik in there. And then Nas is in there. Who did not play? Who is in here that did not play? Am I crazy? Jalen did not play. Oh,
which is very telling. Welcome back, Malik Beasley. It felt like Jalen Noel was not finding himself out of rotation just because Beasley was coming back, but I didn't think he was finding himself in the offense as much recently. So Beasley was a sight for sore eyes for sure. As we get into the tier list, Chris Finch on tonight's win. Great win by the T-Wolves tonight. Everybody chipped in at one point or another. We survived foul trouble from Cat. He says this out loud, by the way. Kai's did a great job of battling up there. I thought we controlled most of the game, if not 95% of the game. Interesting. Does that ring true? Do you feel like we controlled 95% of this game?
No. I mean, we controlled it and we gave them points. But no.
Are you selling us hot air? Are you selling us hot air there, Chris Finch?
Yeah, I think he's kind of hiding some lies and some truth, I mean, he's giving us the little nugget of, oh, Towns had foul trouble, but then he's also saying we controlled 95% of the game. I think he's trying to win us over slowly, but we did not control 95% of this game. We controlled more of this game than we've controlled in the last couple, for sure, but I wouldn't call that 95. I'd say this was more of like a 60 to 40% type of deal, but
60 to 40.
Yeah. But anyways, let's go through some of the lower minute players quick. So we'll do Jordan McLaughlin and Nas Reed. I guess we'll start with Nas. He had the least amount of minutes. So Nas had 9 points, or only 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 5 fouls. I'm just going to kind of go out there and say this wasn't like a great game from Nas. This also wasn't like the worst game from Nas. I don't want to necessarily go with a D. Maybe it was D level. I guess I'm kind of going C just because it's like kind of what I expect, I guess. I don't know. This is close to what I expect. Nothing more, nothing less.
Gerald agrees with you. I went ahead and said a B because, despite what the refs gave him, he was kind of everything we needed. Those quick, instant buckets and passes were awesome to see, and he's going to give us a different look, hopefully, in the playoffs when we get there. When we were relying on him, if he has the confidence to be a distributor, to be this ball dominant, driver, it's really cool to see that. And while he doesn't have the stat lines really to he's not a prototypical big where he's gonna bang and get boards and stuff and go to the line. 9 points is 9 points. We needed every point of that, honestly.
And so you said that Gerald agreed with me. You said B. What did anybody else say, or was that the only tier list people?
No, there's more people, but we're huge here on YouTube, man. You gotta join our Discord, man. There's so much activity. So many people voted on the tier list. I'm just gonna name a couple. Okay, just Jacoby with the B, and JBX with a B as well.
Actually, so Jared in the chat says B. So maybe this
stick him in the tier list.
I guess this is a B night.
Jared, join our Discord.
Jared, get in there.
Maybe you already did.
Yeah, maybe you are. Maybe we talk to you daily and we just don't even know it. All right. Next up, I don't really have anything else to say about Nas. We kind of talked about it earlier.
No.
But also, Jelson points out that I don't even know how to say this guy's name. I've heard it's Gideon, but I've also heard Dijon. I don't know. I'm hearing all these weird things. I don't know him.
I don't care about him.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
he was there. I saw a lot of him.
He's following Cat all around, apparently. Yeah. He's a part of the posse.
There's a little T-Wolves army behind the bench. That was weird.
I saw that too. I was like, wow, these people
all wearing Cat jerseys.
Yeah. Kind of insane.
Yeah.
Propaganda. But
Oopsies.
hello, get him on our plane. Yeah. Where did Ashwin go?
Tried to mute.
Oh,
I deleted myself.
um. Anyways, next up we're gonna do Jordan Mclaughlin. I'm just loving Jordan Mclaughlin lately. He had 9 points.
Loving the J Mac.
Yeah, three assists, 9 points, 3 of 4 shooting, 3 of 3 from three. He hit all his shots from three.
Give it to me.
I could not describe how excited I was when he hit every one of his threes. And only 2 fouls, whatever, it doesn't really matter.
All of those threes were like desperate. We needed a
Yes.
bucket, and he got it to us, man.
Either late shot clock or just we absolutely needed it at a critical moment, and it happened. I would probably, I guess I'm kind of leaning towards maybe a B for him tonight.
It'd be unanimous. It'd be unanimous.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say that I was saying it kind of unsure, and I was like, no, it's at least a B.
It's a B. It's a B.
Yeah, that's a good game, J-Mac. We love you now. Sorry we called you bald earlier this year. Next up, whoa, where did it go?
Torian Prince.
I was gonna do Malik. Do you want to do Torian?
Do the Malik. Do the Bees.
All right, let's do Beasley. Beasley is back for one. Welcome back, Beasley. He had 15 points in 23 minutes, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 great steals, by the way. He was only 4 of 10 shooting, but that was 4 of 10 from 3. So they came at good moments. 3 of 3 from the line, no turnovers. This is just
split tonight.
Yeah, this is just the Discord is split. I'm gonna say, I mean, you know me, I have high expectations for him, so I'm gonna say C, just because this is kind of close to what I expect for him.
Wow.
I mean, not to say that he wasn't crucial, but I think this was just a really, really solid night for Beasley. But yeah, I don't know, C plus maybe C plus.
So it's a really solid night for Beasley, but do better. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I just know that he can be a lot better. I mean, he can be.
Because this was an A for me.
This is an A for you. Wow.
This is exactly what we needed. When we didn't have any offense whatsoever, he gave us a desperation 3. Then he had 2 steals on top of what he normally does, which is nothing.
That's true, I guess, yeah. I'm forgetting. I'm only thinking about points when I think about Beasley. I never think about anything else.
So don't go from a C to an A just because.
He's an A1.
Go to a
No,
B.
I'm just he's yeah, we'll go B, because I mean the steals are crazy, but I still do kind of stick by my stance that it's like I expect kind of a lot out of Beasley, so I have too high of expectations for him.
Justin came in kind of late, but he's been spitting some shit over here, like kind of mocking DeMarcus, which is awesome, but also A for ankle sprain comeback. I think you're reading my language, man. I think you and I are talking the same thing.
He's saying DeMarcus Cousins because that's what people call Gideon. They call him DeMarcus Cousins. I don't know why either. I don't understand anything about him, but I just know a tiny little bits and pieces. But
all right, whatever. That's too much for my blood.
Yeah, but okay. So we've got, what do we have?
TP.
Oh yeah, TP. 3-ply, yes. 16 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, a steal, 6 of 9 shooting. Nice.
Nice.
Only 1 turnover, 2 personal fouls, whatever. He's just so solid for us all season. He has just been such a rock for us this season. We haven't. I guess early on in the season he was not, like early season. I don't think he was, but after a month into the season or so, I can't remember exactly when it changed. He just never stopped. He's just been this, like somewhere in like the 14 to 16 to even like 20 plus points for games. Just solid defensively, solid offensively. He did have one moment tonight where the coach is Micah Nori. I have never seen him this animated on the sideline. Yeah, he's like, stay home, TP, stay home, stay home. I was like, oh my gosh. And then of course they hit the 3. But that was insane. I am definitely not cut out for basketball because I'd be in a heap on the floor crying after that. But props to him for staying in and contributing both on offense and defense. But I think this was just a solid game. I want to go B again. Is that stupid? I don't know.
No, because at least someone agreed with you. Someone in this world loves you. That's Gerald, who goes with a B. The rest of the squad goes A.
Whoa.
A for TP.
Wow.
I think I'm in that boat. The play of the game is kind of weird for me to say this like early in the game, which was the third quarter. We couldn't fucking do anything. Vando gets subbed out for Torian Prince. The first thing he did when he gets subbed in was he catches a quick pass and he makes a three. He just doesn't even react, doesn't even think about it. We had no flow offensively. Quick three, and it was okay. We can breathe. And then everything he does defensively is like a last line of defense type of mentality,
Yeah.
where that
Yeah.
should be our big, but that's kind of our four. That's
Mhm.
kind of Beasley at times. It's really dumb. But Prince is big. Prince is bold, and he pushes players that want to do things out of their comfort zone. Yeah, maybe he gets in fouls. Never really gets into foul trouble, but maybe he gets those ticky tack fouls of getting disrupting Aaron Gordon's flow or something like that. But those are the fouls we can live with, because that's like saying you can't just like hound me.
Yeah.
You can't gain any confidence from you getting defended by me. I loved his game tonight, and we don't win this out without him. We don't win this out without Beasley and Prince's kind of like solid effort on offense.
Yeah.
And because at the end of the day, we just have to score more points. But without any sort of presence defensively, like we're gonna get out of the gym. We're gonna get swept out of the gym, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I said this a couple weeks ago. You need to have your players be 7 deep, if not 8 deep, if you're going into some serious playoff series. And this
yeah,
is not me claiming that we're going to go deep into a playoff series, but that is just what you need. You need to have your starters be solid and 2 other at least bench players be solid, and we have that in Torian Prince, Malik Beasley, and occasionally Noel. Noel, like you had said, has not been great lately, but like he has the capability of being that player as well. If we have Jaden back tonight, this is another completely different game. Jaden, we haven't really talked about him that much since he's been out. We've also been in hiding since he's been out. But if he's in this game, that greatly affects so many things. And he's missed too. But yeah, TP, Malik Beasley, huge players off the bench for us. So it sounds like Discord all went with A, other than me and Gerald.
yeah. It's a big community. Like literally dozens of us.
Dozens.
I want to say something. I'm not trying to break apart from the tier list for a second here, but just kind of dawned on me.
Do it.
I have this like moment of clarity here with this team, and I want your thoughts on this. Are you excited about the play-in game? Because I think we're there. We're locked in at the 7th seed now.
Yeah, we can't go to the
Guaranteed.
8, and we barely can go to the 6.
Yeah. So being content with that, no matter how the chips may fall or whatever the fuck that expression is, versus being a 6th seed. Are you okay with the 7th seed?
Yeah, I think so. Are you? Let me ask. Let me kind of re-ask the question just so that I can clarify. Are you saying, am I excited to play in a play-in game, or are you saying should 7 be a disappointment?
Yeah, I feel like it's both questions, but first, are you excited to be in a play-in game situation?
I have a complex feelings on that. This year, I feel like it's like a bad year to be in the play-in, but like if this was a normal play-in where we weren't 20 games better than the 10 and 9 seed, I mean, we're not 20 games better, but like if we weren't 10 plus games better than the teams that we might lose to because they're just going to bring back Hall of Fame players on the team, like sure, then I would feel a lot better if it was like, oh, we're all super close and whatever. But now it feels like we're getting cheated out because we're a good 7 seed, but the 8 seed, 9 seed, and 10 seed all suck. So I'm disappointed, but I mean, if you're asking me if I'm excited for the games, I am excited. I wasn't. Now I am. I'm excited to see Target Center. I mean, I obviously bought tickets to the game, and I'm excited. But I think this is actually pretty good coming into the season. I didn't predict us. I barely predicted us to go 500. I predicted us to go exactly 500, and we're above that. So I guess long story short, I am content with being the 7th seed.
Yeah, I am as well. Actually, I'm actually more happy now than ever about it than a 6th seed, because while a 6th seed would give us luxury to kind of relax and maybe even punt a couple games here or there, it's a series. it's all on the line in one game.
Yeah.
And we don't know what our team is yet. Game 78.
Mm. Yeah.
Like, in a one game standoff, I don't trust it, but that's good. In a weird, like quirky, like painful way. It's good because like we have serious holes that we need to address. Getting to the 6th seed might just say, you know what, Gupta, go ahead and hang up on that child again.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we get blown out in the seventh, the playing game, and we get blown out again, serious things need to happen. If we lose barely, serious things still need to happen. If we get into the playoffs, we get that 4-game, 7-game, grace period of seeing, evaluating what we can do in response. But these are like meaningful games for the first time that this franchise has had with all of these players together. And they have a 1-game stance to prove it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy about that because if we lose the first game, we still have another rebound game.
Yep.
But then that's literally like win or you're out.
Again. Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Like
It's
no
like
4-game grace period.
Yeah. It is truly. Yeah, it is. I do think it's good because also if you get into the 6th seed, like you said, there's a little bit of relaxation because sure, you can punt a game, you can not, it's whatever. You're going on the road for the first 2 games, so you're likely going to lose the first 2 anyways. But if we play, this team, I hate that I go back to the same analogy that I use from Britt Robson and Dane Moore from the beginning, but I just can't stop thinking about it because it's so accurate. This team, if they hit the parlay of Towns plays well, D'Lo plays well, Ant plays well, Jaden plays well, and we have TP and Malik coming off the bench, this team can shock any team in the West. Any team.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
But how likely is that to happen? Quite unlikely. Especially to your point, if we're a 6th seed. Because if we're the 6th seed, we come in with a little bit of relaxation and then we're playing from behind. If we go into the 7th seed or the play-in games, the first game is immensely important because you do not want to have the pressure of the second game. So it's crazy pressure for that first game. And if you win that game, then you have confidence and you just beat, at that moment, a good team.
Yeah.
Putting yourself way better than an 8th seed team. And you are then going up against the 2 seed who, as we've said before, I'm not a big fan of playing Memphis, but like if the parlay happens, then we have a chance against a Memphis team or any team.
They're an unproven team.
Yeah.
Get this, like we're a 7th seed now. We win that playing game. Confidence, as you just said, thrusting in our veins, pulsing out, and we're there right on the doorstep against Memphis. Trickling into the 6th seed, playing against Utah, or probably not Utah, like Dallas or some other guy, Golden State or something, could feel bad. And then Clay and Steph, and just like we get swept. Dude, there's some like glaring holes because we got so comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what happened in this game? This game proved it to me. We got up by 12. We started fucking like chanting and taunting, and we go on a 3-17 like run, like deficit.
Yeah.
Then we go up by like 11 or 12. We do like stupid ass cat clamp, and then we like almost lose the game.
Yeah.
We get overconfident, and then we get relegated to the like what we actually are. Like the skeleton of our team is we can barely stay afloat if our shots aren't going in, and if we aren't tall and play a little bit more aggressive than we can at times. We won this game, which gives me a little bit of confidence in a play-in situation. Because guess what? If this was game 82, if this was the play-in game, this had the intensity of a play-in game.
Yeah.
This had the intensity of game 82, where we barely won.
Yeah.
And we had like Taj Gibson and Derrick Rose and Butler and whatever the fuck, and relying heavily on those vets. Now we're relying stupid heavily on everyone else who hasn't done any of this yet.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I just got this from this game alone, from this conversation that's been developing, like live. I just had this thought, like I'm actually kind of really happy.
Yeah.
About the 7th seed.
I think it is a win. I if you would have told me coming into the season that we'd be the 7th seed, even if you said there was no shot of us ever being the 6th seed, I'd be happy, and that would be a win for me, regardless of the circumstances. That's a way better Timberwolves team than we've seen in the last other than 1 year, 20 years. So it's or maybe 2018 or something like that. But so yeah, I
As
will.
long as Koopa's been alive.
Yeah, as long as Timberwolves Daily's been alive. But um, but yeah, it's something to celebrate. But we are gonna have to go through some games here where we are severely tested, and I think that's good. Like you said, to your point, I think it's good. And the only argument that I would make for wanting to be the 6th seed is I just want to see us in a full playoff series with the team that we have, even if that means us getting wiped in the playoffs. Just like absolutely demolished, like Rockets Timberwolves 2018 vibes. Like if it's something like that. Because then we know we can come back next year and we're not going to have a Butler situation where somebody forces their way out before we have a chance to try it again.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that.
Really?
If we get our TP'd, like there's going to be finger pointing because this team's not mature enough to deal with it. And I think D'Lo's out the door, which may be a good thing. I think Ant's going to point fingers. I think Vando's out the door, and that might be a bad thing. Like it could be that like strenuous, because there's holes that need to be fixed. Finch needs more players that are maybe not on this roster, and he's probably done the best he ever could have, given this roster and the constraints and the straight voltage. I just have to throw that in there.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know. I think I might disagree with you. I think this team does have good vibes, and I think there could have been finger pointing already, major finger pointing, and I think right now they have held it together.
Yeah, we're playing for each other for sure. In a 4-game series, we get punted off the floor. That could look real bad on Cat's career. That could look real bad on everyone else. Like, why did Pat Bev join our team? All that finger pointing, all that media hoopla, all the ESPN, the box fans turned back on for Kendrick Perkins and all that crap. We played a Raptors team for a quarter and a half. That was pretty cool, right? We played the Boston Celtics Rockets team for a quarter, and that was pretty cool. We need to put it together for 4 quarters. We need all of our stars to come and rise to the occasion. What's 4 games doing when 1 game is like all that matters? I'm so actually stupidly like I will die on this hill on this point.
Yeah,
So
I love it.
You know what? You're wrong.
Gerald says take of the year. But
whatever. He's wrong. It's just a take.
Yeah, it's a take. Jelson says fans will do the pointing way before the players. We've already been pointing.
We've already been doing that. We've already been looking at rebuilds, man.
We were pointing 12 games in the season. But unfulfilled playoff experience is still good experience, good growth, 100%. And that's why we're excited for that possibility of a playing game / a playoff series. It'd be good. But anyways, back to the tier list.
The starties.
Let's do Vanderbilt first. I don't have him in that order, but let's do Vando because he didn't really play that much. Vando played 22 minutes, had 4 points, 4 rebounds, 2 of 5 shooting. He did have to guard JOKIC quite a bit tonight, and he only had 2 fouls, but he's also like a third of the weight of JOKIC. You have a grade for him?
I do. The massively active Discord is split on this one. Not unanimous.
All 2 of us.
So I'm going with whatever you think.
Oh man.
I feel like my grade's a little bit higher than yours is gonna be.
Really? Okay. I was gonna say a C.
And I went with a B.
Okay.
That means go C.
Go
C, go. The Discord agrees with you, by the way.
I think there were some good conversations being had in our Discord, which is not small, as we keep insinuating. We do have genuine conversations with many of you. Join the Discord. But yeah, during the game thread that we had, there was some talk of like Vanderbilt being on JOKIC and whether or not that's a good or a bad thing. And my conclusion is I don't know. Because I think JOKIC needs a big defender on him, like Cat, but that doesn't foul. I think that would be huge. You can't type that. I can't read that. But yeah, like Vanderbilt's just so small, and sure, he's like pesky, maybe it's good. I don't know. Where do you think on that?
There was some awesome discussion actually about Vando on Jokic specifically in the Discord tonight, and it was cool at the start of the game even too. Like, Vando presses on Jokic, that's great. Once Jokic has the ball, it's game over. So up until Jokic has the ball, it's fine. But once Jokic has the ball, you need tall arms on him. You need his eyes need to be blocked or at least like covered.
Men need to come.
And yeah, exactly right. I got you. You got me back. April Fool's, by the way.
Oh yeah, true.
You got fooled yet?
Yeah, LeBron.
Yo, a wild Jop 18 has joined. Dude, wave.
Oh, we got a Discord join?
Those sweet noties?
I don't have notifications for that. Everybody else does for some reason. I don't.
Oh man, that's good.
Now we're
Jared
up to 4
Vanderbilt.
people.
I love what I really like so much about Jared Vanderbilt is I think he takes these games so seriously. He got traded from Denver, and he doesn't let Denver forget.
Yeah.
Literally anything that happens, he's looking right at the bench, right at the coaches, and just like kind of mean mugging them. And his mean mug is kind of, makes me laugh because he looks like he's smiling all the time. But it's awesome to see Jared Vanderbilt out there giving it all, not having back problems. Doesn't look like he's impaired at all right now. And starter level minutes, man. Like, I know 22 minutes isn't starter level minutes, but like it's great to have that kind of energy off of a dude that didn't get the stat lines tonight, but it's just nice to see him out there. And yeah, maybe we're talking too much about a dude that really didn't do a whole lot actually. But anywho's Jared O is choke.
Jared. Oh, isn't that what they said in the Subway commercials? Never mind. Sorry. Hi, Jop.
Let's move on to D'Lo. I think D'Lo's gonna be kind of interesting here.
All right.
36 minutes. Actually, I don't even know what we do. Yeah, we did see. 36 minutes, 24 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, some other stats. He went 50% from the field, 40% from 3, and maybe the third best stat line of the night, 10 for 11 from the free throw line. I think all of that was in the first half.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, the crowd's going nuts. They are refs you suck chants are raining down, and well, no, it's not Pepsi Center anymore. It's Ball Arena or something like that. Yeah, they were not happy. It reminded me of a Timberwolves game at Target Center. Yeah, they were unhappy with it. If I were them, I would also be unhappy with it. But it worked in our favor, so I guess that's a W. But yes, Jelson, he finally came to play after seemingly weeks of being off. I mean, he has been bad for like 12 games. And it all, funny enough, him and Wiggins have been battling for who can hurt their team worse for the last 10 to 12 games.
Right.
And
who actually won this trade, by the way?
Neither of us won the trade anymore. It's bad. Also, interesting, I kind of forgot this. They both have the same contract and are up at the same exact year. So it's
maybe they be traded for each other again.
Yeah, it's just so weird. This was it was such a breath of fresh air to have D'Lo come out in the first quarter and just score. He had 10 points like instantly. And I've always viewed D'Lo as more of like the away killer, and he needs to be there on our away games. There was this belief that I had early in the season that like when he was on the Brooklyn Nets that he was like known for being an away player for some reason. I think that's not true, but that's like what my memory is telling me. And I was like, man, if he could be like our away killer, he was in one game against the Phillies. What the heck am I saying? A baseball season against the 76ers.
The Eagles, I think.
Yeah, the Eagles too. And the Flyers. But got them all.
We did it, dude.
It was just good to see, and this is what the games that we need out of D'Lo, because it's just killer shots at killer moments. You heard a couple. There was like 1-2, I think. One of the shots that he hit in the fourth quarter, maybe the only one, was like a long 2 fadeaway with a hand in his face. The crowd just goes, "Oh my gosh!" It's just that killer D'Lo shot that I talk about all the time, and it was good to see. We finally found D'Lo. Please stay for at least the next 2 months.
Stay low for sure. D'Lo was kind of turning into J-Lo there for a minute, and that was the joke. I don't know, man. No J-Lo. I don't know what that was. There it is. There's the joke. Dancing in Vegas, right? Like,
No,
there you go. Kept going. I don't know what I'm saying.
keep going.
But 2 threes. I think that was really, really important to see. And those were both in the first quarter, and one was transition. And the other thing that was really important to see is just disrupting the defense by ripping through, by making them uneasy, by having them questioning the refs, by having the defense play another game within the game of yelling at the refs, because we're the ones doing that too. We're the ones getting cooked on the other end. D'Lo hasn't been nearly what he was prime D'Lo in the beginning of the season defensively. He has been a shell of himself defensively.
Yeah.
But he came and played tonight, and it gave me just a spark of hope here moving on towards the end of the season, where maybe all that matters is that he's rising to peak form towards the end of the season, if not into the playing game. He doesn't need to do anything else for the rest of the season, if at least he's there for us when it counts.
Seriously, that's all.
Maybe that's the true ice in his veins.
Yeah, there we go. We're saving it, right? Anyway, so a grade for D'Lo tonight. I feel like I'm broken tonight because I keep wanting to say B for everybody. I guess it's probably an A though, right?
Well, if you say A, you're on an island. You're on D'Lo Island there.
I mean, my initial reaction is a B. I'm just scared that I've been below everybody tonight. Is it a B for everybody in the Discord?
Everyone but me, yes.
What did you say?
What do you think?
You said C?
I did. Because as great as he was offensively on the first half, he did literally jack shit in the second half. Ant still didn't show up until the fourth quarter. Where was D'Lo? Nowhere to be found. Where was Ant? Getting a couple rebounds and assists. At least he was there. At least he was big. At least he was a body. D'Lo wasn't doing shit. I was so happy when J-Mac was out there.
I know. I am weirdly getting excited when we have J-Mac out there. Like he just is he's just annoying to the other team, you know?
Yeah.
And not to say that D'Lo didn't have moments tonight. Like he did have one steal. I don't remember if it was on Jokic, but he just had one kind of crucial steal that I was like, yes. But you're right. I mean, I don't want to go on a tangent about D'Lo, but like early season, we were praising his defense. And not necessarily saying he's like some lockdown defender. You know, he doesn't have like long arms. He's not tall. He's not athletic. But he was being very vocal and just getting to the right spots, I felt a lot of the time. And, you know, I've been turning into, I mean, like, Godfrey has me in, Godfrey's in my head. Godfrey is saying, like, D'Lo's bad, $30 million, all this stuff. And it's like, I am believing that for the last 10 games. So, yeah, I mean, the defense, that is definitely a concern. I think my final grade is a B tonight. Just because the offense is a little higher than I went, but you're right, the defense is just gone.
You are one with the Discord.
Yes, finally.
Let's go.
Welcome MMB or MBB. Gosh, I'm terrible tonight.
Let's move on to Anthony Edwards.
You saving Pat Bev for a while?
Absolutely.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not forgetting the guy who saved the franchise.
True.
With a single flop.
Yeah.
40 minutes and 1 second. Ant 1 second. Got you, Benz. 18, 8, and 7. 1 turnover. Who cares? 6 for 15 from the floor. 3 for 7 from 3, all in the fourth quarter. 3 from 4 from the free throw line. A true tale of I don't even know what the tale is. It's yet to be determined, I guess. But there was a tale that was told.
There was a tale.
I am all alone on my island.
Are you?
What are you?
I am calculating.
And thank you for not cheating. If you are, then you're just you're a drama man. You live for this. You fiend after drama.
I don't have the Discord pulled up.
I know, and thank you for not doing that though.
Yeah, I don't even grade in the Discord ever. But I think for Ant, I'm just looking at his stat line and trying to think
18,
back
8, 7
of plays. I think I'm probably a C.
Wow, you and I were meant to be.
Yeah.
I'm a C, but everyone else went with the B. I think the stat line is kind of painting a picture that might be better than advertised.
Yeah.
Had it been
he was absent
for
for
him,
so much of the game.
right? He was. I started the show kind of just like dog and ant. Like I was kind of miserable watching him, and I just started laughing with glee, laughing with joy, laughing with my nails in my mouth, like just win the game,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And those threes that were in were just insane bangers, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw him jump like 10 feet in front of Jokic, trying to yam it on Jokic.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Not even going to get close to the net. I feel like, and that was just one blurb of athleticism for the first 3 quarters. Like it was so confusing.
It was weird. It came out of nowhere, and it was like absolutely no chance of going in. But it was like we were in the Discord talking, and we were like, "God, Ant is just not here." I think you were talking about how he looks like he's playing at like 0.5 speed, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so true." And it's like it was just bad, and then he suddenly does this crazy thing, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, if he throws this down," and then I quickly realized that he was like beyond the free throw line now while he's still in the air, and I was like, "Okay, never mind." But that was fun to see him at least try something like that, to know that it's still like an option for him. Even though it wasn't successful or anywhere near successful. Boy, would I go crazy. This is a little off topic, but if Ant hit a dunk like that in a play-in or playoff game, I think I would die. I'm not even I don't care about any other thing in the game. I don't care if that was his only 2 points of the game. I think I would die. It wouldn't be like I faint. I would die.
On that note, can you give me your Top Shot password?
Oh, no. I've got plenty of Top Shots now. I am now an owner of nearly 200, I think.
Come on, no way.
200 Top Shots. I own it.
I don't think you still haven't given me the one that my friend gave me.
I did, because actually I wanted to get it the other day. And I was like, oh my god, I gave it to Ashwin. I gave it back to Ashwin. Because I was completing. I actually own every Timberwolves moment now. Because you get a bonus for having all of the Timberwolves players. That's right. You've got an NFT fan on your hands.
That's cool. I did not know that. I didn't know. I hope it's going to be okay for you, man.
Oh, it will.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. You got the layman? You got the layman lay?
I've got everyone. Literally everybody.
Insane.
Even Rubio.
Even lay? Even layman?
Layman. Wancho. I had to pay to get Wancho.
And that's big. That's
wasn't
big.
$1.
Did he say anything in that clip?
No, I don't even listen to the clips. I don't even care about it at all. I just own it all, and maybe someday
Click you buy.
It'll be crazy.
Yeah, man. Well, man, jealous of your progression.
Well, feel free
as a human being. All right, man.
I'll gladly take them.
I haven't been on Top Shot in a minute. Maybe
I looked at your profile the other day just to see if you had been collecting anything, and I was like, nope.
I'll try again. We'll try. I'll miss all the drops though, because I can't.
You won't anymore. Unless it's like a super rare drop, you'll get it anytime.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I don't know where you are, but Ant, you were a C from us, but a B in the majority of the plurality of Discord's hearts. But I need a consistent layer where you can say hell yeah in post game, and you can prance around and say Will's back and all that stuff. But yeah, when D'Lo, Ant, and Cat are on, we're insane. D'Lo was on the first half. D'Lo was nowhere to be found in the second half. Ant was found in the fourth quarter, nowhere else to be found in the rest of the game. They need to be finding some sort of rhythm together. I've yet to see anything from them together. It all hinges on Cat, and he's what's up next. Cat, look at that transition. 31 minutes and 11 seconds, 32 points, 9 rebounds, some other shit. I don't care. 11 for 18 from the field, 61% from the field, 4 of 7 from 3. My boy, shoot double that. 6 for 6 from the free throw line. That's not Embiid level, but at least it's good. Enough for me. We were unanimous on this, so you better be with us.
Really?
Cam,
okay.
what's your grade?
Oh man, I feel like I'm going to be different.
He didn't foul out.
He did not foul out. He did get 5 fouls, but he reined himself in for that fourth quarter, and the 5th foul didn't come until kind of late.
Whenever.
I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
but also we were up by a bit. I'm gonna go with a B.
Unanimous.
Boom.
Foghorn cued.
Yes.
We are John Cena. Bum, ba-dum, bum. Why was it a B for you?
I mean, so you just have to. I mean, it's just a balancing thing. I mean, the 5 fouls is crazy, crazy bad, and I'm not talking about the 5th foul. I'm talking about the first 3, especially the third. The third, I understand. If you go back and watch it, it's a terrible foul, both for it being called. Like Jokic just does this thing where he hooks players. Towns isn't actually fouling him, but there's no way they can't call it. But on the other hand, Towns cannot put him in that situation 10 seconds coming into the game after being out with 2 fouls. You just can't. You have to be so passive. Save that for the last 2 quarters
That's
of the game.
DeMarcus Cousins level.
Yeah, it is. Save it for the last 2 quarters of the game or the last quarter of the game. Who cares? Like, if you go into the half and you have 5 fouls remaining, use them all. I don't care. Use them all in the second half, because then you're defending when it matters. Even if it's your crazy, stupid, dumb, slappy fouls, at least it's happening at a time where maybe it's affecting the game. You're doing it in the first quarter and second quarter where all you're doing is fueling flames. Like, it's just the worst in every way, offensively, defensively. For us, you're just ruining it all. But somehow, through all the madness of the fouls that you had tonight, you were just an insane unicorn. Insane. I mean, he's making just insane shots. He's driving. He's hitting threes. He's making good passes. And he had way less crazy extra straight voltage passes that I expected, because Michael Malone came out before the game and basically said, Cat is not on Jokic's level. No disrespect, but he's not on his level. And I was like, whoa, this is a guarantee. Cat's going to come out here with this voltage that we've never seen before. And
I'm not on his level.
I was like, over under 300,000 behind the back passes. But no. He was composed, but then he wasn't. He was great, and then he wasn't. It's just like all over the place. And he showed flashes of being just a player that is a killer. But he's just got these drawbacks, these mental drawbacks, because they are mental. They are mental mistakes that he's making. His game is fine. It's just the mental mistakes that he makes. If he didn't have those, my goodness, he would be in the MVP conversation.
For sure. We would be so much better than this.
Yeah.
On the real. What you said about like 1 or 2 fouls at halftime, you have 4 fouls to play with in the second half. You can get away with an offensive foul at that point.
Yeah.
That's fine. Play your game then. Mm-hmm. The second you get your 3rd foul in the first half, which has happened for maybe 30 games in a row now, you can't play the same game.
Seriously.
It's kind of insane that I'm saying this every game, but it feels like I was ready for a repeat performance. I even said it in our special secrets, super secret chat, where I was just basically calling it out. Like, here comes the 4th foul or whatever. Here comes a Denver run, and at least we responded with an insane like start to the third half or the third quarter. But Kat said post game, when asked if we were a playoff team, I think we've shown multiple times that we're a playoff team. And I think we've also shown that we're not a joke. This is the real deal, Holyfield.
Wait, he's... man, yeah, I can't listen to that. But he played great other than the fouls. Man, if we can get non-fouling Cat in the playoffs, I will also die. Similarly to Ant dunking, I will go crazy if we can have. Imagine a playoff series where Cat averages less than 3 fouls a game. Wow, wow.
If that happens in the playoff game, the play-in game, I'm going to be so impressed. If we don't get into foul trouble in that play-in game, I'm going to be so happy. We earned the playoffs through like playing our way. Like that's kind of where it's at for me, man. Like, but I'm expecting the worst, man. I'm expecting the playing game to be dirty. I'm expecting the playing game to be full of fucking chaos. and probably a little stray. And I just need, as everyone, but most importantly, Gerald has said in chat, just rein it in like 5, 10, 25%. Actually, all the way. Honestly, all the way.
Yeah.
No stray voltage.
Yeah.
No offensive fouls. Play a careful game the first half. Unleash yourself in the second half.
Yeah.
They won't be able to stop you.
Exactly. It's going to be a freight train of offensive explosion. Men will come, and it will be
Men will come.
It will be,
Explosions.
It will be insane. By the way, Lakers just lost the Pelicans.
Shut up.
And LeBron missed the game-tying shot. He pump faked literally 7 times. It was incredible. I am happy, and they now, let's see. So the Spurs win tonight. They are now a game or 2 games out of the playoffs. What are they? I don't even know. I have to get updated standings as they update, though.
Math.
Anyways, they're down bad, and guess what? They have a lot more games coming. They play Denver. They play the Spurs. I think they played. Actually, maybe I'm thinking Denver. I can't remember their exact schedule, but it's not easy. And man, that is a joyous.
I feel like that's gonna be just as good as a play-in game for us.
Seriously.
Actually, it's gonna feel better than the play-in game, and then the playoff berth, if it happens for us, will feel that much better, that much sweeter, and that much more like justified.
Yeah, because then like even if you get swept, I mean, not that I want to get swept in a playoff series, but like if you were to get swept going into the 6th seed, it feels like a crazy L. But if you win the play-in, and then that feels like a joyous occasion, and then you make it to you're making a playoff series, then it's fine. But wow, chat explodes with Lakers are frauds.
Maybe we should just turn this into a Lakers podcast, because then all those people would come here, man.
Lakers hate.
Actually, I don't know. I couldn't do it. I couldn't stand 5 seconds on that shit.
But wow. Okay. Well, we'll get updated standings here at the end of the show. But I think we have the player of the night left.
Yeah, for sure.
By the way, your camera is going in 1 frame a second.
Oh, how long is that been?
Literally 2 seconds.
I'm back.
You're back.
Wolves back, baby.
Yeah, Wolves back.
They don't call me Brown Jesus for nothing.
New merch coming.
New merch, nice.
But, all right, Patrick Beverley with an insane stat line. Played 26 minutes, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 steals, 2 of 8 shooting, 4 fouls. I mean, the weirdest thing, but my goodness, the impact. Just a winner.
Just a winner, man.
Yeah. How was Discord on this one?
What's your grade?
My grade?
Yeah.
I think my grade.
That's answering your question with a question.
That's okay. I think my grade is an A.
Nice. Do we need a new sub bracket?
So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that obviously we're set on the tier list for the rest of this season, but next season, I do think
we get funky with it.
I think we need to get a little funky. Whether that's a quadrant, whether that's some kind of weird amoebus type thing, we need weird categories. We need the Pat Bev hustle category. We need the Wancho terrible category. We need
the Windows concept. I don't know.
All these different things.
Taco Bell takes.
Yes, we sponsors coming out the wazoo. We've got all these crazy opportunities, but no, really, we need different categories because it's hard to grade people like Jaden when he goes he scores 6 points, has 2 rebounds, 2 assists, but was the biggest contributor in the game, and it's unfair to grade them on this kind of a tier list. But I mean, if we're trying to grade it off of this current system that we have, I think it's an A tonight, just because sure you expect hustle out of Pat Bev, and maybe you expect some points, some rebounds. I'm not crazy about the stat line other than the steals, but 6 steals, that's insane. The hustle, the getting in people's heads, he's talking to Jokic during the game, talking to Bones during the game. There is heated conversations, and non-heated conversations going on. It was just like another influential night from Pat Bev.
Uh, okay, so everything you said is correct, and also all the dead space in between whatever you said. Like he's there without the stat line, he's kicking ass. He's reading plays before they're happening, and he's setting up our offense. The dude was never having the ball in his hand on any other team in the league except for when he was in college.
Mm-hmm.
He was an afterthought in Miami, was overthrown to like Houston and all these other teams, and he made a name himself on defensively when he was an offensive oriented player. He actually has handles. He actually can shoot the ball, and he can get to the line. And he baited Denver so many times. He went to the line 6 times, which is way more than I would expect from him. But just baiting and reacting, and yeah, maybe a little bit of gambling, but the gambling pays off. And yeah, there's some flubs offensively. Those were some really like Shackton plays over there, not being able to transition into a couple buckets, a couple times actually. It's not what he does offensively though. It's everything else. And we don't have one business being in any game when he plays like this.
Yeah.
We're a different look. We're a different, completely different out for any team needing to play against us, right? Wanting to play in against us, wanting to kind of, write up a script or write up a game plan. Patrick Beverley, you can't write a philosophy around. You can't be like, okay, you got to do this against him, because he's going to see it come and do another 180 and anticipate the play. He might not always be like this type of player, but it just caught Denver on an off night. Yeah. Denver scoring 130 points, by the way, is an off night in a weird way because Beverley caught them slipping. It's an A1 for so many reasons, but I think it's not an A1 ultimately because of those weird plays that he missed up on offensively. And yeah, maybe he's having to guard JOKIC on occasion and switch up and not, let Bones Highland have a 3 here or there. I think it's ultimately an A, but unanimously on the Discord, we went with A1.
Whoa, crazy.
Unanimously.
I did not. I mean, I definitely thought it was a good name or a good game.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to rewatch this. I mean, 6 steals again is insane. I feel like I've had 2 nights where I've been lower on the tier list than you guys, where players had 6 steals. But man, yeah. I mean, I don't disagree. I think this is just the unfairness of the tier list because you have a player like Pat Bev where like this amount of effort and just willing the team to win doesn't go as noticed because like C is expected. So like I expect a lot of that out of Pat Bev, and maybe that's unfair, but like I do expect a lot. So that's why I don't go A1 because I think he had A1 plays in this game. I think he had A1 moments in this game, but I can't go full A1. But that doesn't matter, It's all that I enjoy is watching Pat Bev be on our team and winning plays for us.
I think he's been the saving grace of our franchise. Like a decade from now, we're gonna kind of point and laugh. Hopefully, we can point and laugh at just how insane that get was. An insane get from a former GM of ours for fucking scraps, man. A player that I don't even know we could have gotten rid of. We got rid of. Players, sorry. And I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Well, I guess maybe Jared Culver's laughing at us because he's a 2 seed. But I don't know, man. I can't believe he wanted to play for us. I can't believe we extended him. And maybe he's worth more. I don't know. But we got him for a steal, in my opinion.
I agree with that statement. I do think it's a steal. So everybody other than me said A1?
Yeah.
I mean,
including me. But I'm down to go with an A because, A1 is just like a very special moment. And while Beverley had special moments, he definitely whiffed on the opposite end, like those. I don't know.
It's tricky. I know.
That's why we feel like there should be like the sub tier list, like an S tier, not an A1 tier, an S tier, because he's an S tier tonight.
True.
He's better than A, but he's less than an A1.
That's true. There is kind of a big difference between A and A1. Well, I guess I put
I'll
him
be
in
watching
A.
this game
But
right after this.
yeah,
We went 91 minutes. Is this a record for us?
this is probably a record. I think we've gone about this long once before, and actually, I don't think it was that long ago. Um, but there were still a couple things I wanted to talk about before we're done.
Fuck yeah.
Not much. Very just talking about what's coming up.
Yeah.
So next up, we play on Sunday. Yes.
Nice.
um,
Sunday.
Sunday. Against not the Raptors, the Rockets at the
Yeah.
Rockets.
Yeah.
Should be a win. Has to
Right.
be a win. A must-win game. Now, if you're curious and keeping track at home, Denver also plays on Sunday. Denver plays against a team that absolutely needs a win in the Los Angeles Lakers.
They've lost 5 in a row.
Yeah. So the Lakers are a full game behind the Spurs right now, and they
Yeah.
lose the tiebreaker to the Spurs. So
They did.
really, they're down bad.
Yeah.
And they need a win more than anything. And if they don't win that game against Denver, I think we don't see Lakers in the playoffs.
What do you want more? A Lakers win or a Nuggets loss?
I want a Nuggets loss because I think it'll be just so good for us to play.
Wait.
Well,
that's the same thing.
Yeah, wait. I knew what you meant. I want the Lakers to win just because I want us to have, even if it doesn't lead to us being the 6th seed, I just think the fight for that at the end of the season against these teams that we should be able to beat would keep our minds engaged going deeper into the rest of the play-in and the playoffs possibly, rather than go up against some of these teams and kind of just be like batting practice of like, oh yeah, sure, like we're at home, we're shooting a bunch of threes, Arby's, yay, Bev guns in the chat, whatever, all this stuff. So like, sure, there's I also, though, it's really difficult because I do want the Lakers to make the playoffs. But there also is a sick part of me that wants to play the Lakers in a play-in game and beat them. But no, I think I want the Lakers to win, mainly because we should win on Sunday as well, and we would be 1 game back of Denver, and we own the tiebreaker with Denver. So I think that would be fun to root for some things in the end of the season. I guess I'm kind of fine either way, but I think it would be fun to fight for the 6th seed. I just think that would be a fun fight and a big W for the team if that happens.
Yeah.
But in case you're curious about the Nuggets schedule, so they play the Lakers on Sunday, and then they play the Spurs on Tuesday. Also probably need a win. And the Memphis Grizzlies for the last game of their season on Thursday. They kind of end earlier than a lot of people because a lot of people play through that Sunday, so that's kind of interesting. But that's their schedule. Our schedule, as I've mentioned many times throughout the last couple of weeks, we play the Rockets, the Wizards at home, at Target Center, I should say, the Spurs at Target Center, and then the Bulls at Target Center. There is still a chance we get the 6th seed, but boy, oh boy, do we need to win every game still. Tonight was the biggest hurdle, but we still do need to win these games. Man, I'm like, as much as I am excited for the Timberwolves and seeing the situation and how it plays out for the rest of the year, I just can't lie, and I can't I'm so excited to see what happens to the Lakers. Like, they play Denver, then they play Phoenix, then they play Golden State. Oh my God.
I feel like that's like human nature, right? We just want to we don't want to see the world burn, but we just want to see LeBron fall.
Yeah.
We want to see new blood. We want to see the Ja Morant and Ant Edwards, and we're done with this drama-filled meta.
Yeah. Well, also,
I'm so happy that Giannis and Jokic are carrying the league right now.
Yeah.
I'm so over the KDs, Kyries, and LeBrons.
I know. And it's great to see somebody like Giannis, especially, like, just thrive in a small market too. It's like having him thrive, and like if we could have Cat thrive here in Minnesota, like we've got the Midwest that everybody laughs at has two of the best players in the league, and it's just crazy. So that's exciting to see. Also, I mean, it just sticks it to these like super teams, where it's like, oh, we're gonna sign 3 max players, and then we're just gonna sign Hall of Fame players to minimum contract. Like, I think it's good for the league. It'll heal the league for the Lakers to lose, but also the Lakers are just screwed, not just for this season. Because no, they do play. Denver does play another game against the Lakers again on Saturday the 9th. The Lakers are just screwed. But the Lakers, if they want to get a playoffs, here's the thing. Here's the situation for the rest of the season. If the Lakers are going to make the playoffs, it is going to have to come by beating the Nuggets twice. And if we want the 6th seed, it's going to be just winning. All we need to do is win. And if we do that, 6th seed is ours. But I still like your point about the 7th seed, but I mean, hey, I'll take a 6th seed. I don't even know who we'd play in the 6th seed, I guess, because it's changing all the time.
It's changing all the time, man. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to find out, but at the same time, it's been really interesting to kind of see like the switcheroo every freaking night. Like Toronto 3 seed, Toronto 7 seed, Toronto 4 seed, Boston 1 seed. It's like insane. The same thing's happening in the West. I just don't know. Like, as I said a couple games ago, there's just so much parity in the league, and the young players coming into the league are just, I feel, so much better than they've ever been. I don't know, man. Like,
yeah. No.
This draft class is unbelievable.
It is. That's true.
And we don't have a single one. We have Balmaro? No, I don't know. That doesn't count.
Yeah. Jelson with some great closing comments in chat. West Brick stat padding with LeBum and Anthony Day to Davis out. Wow.
Day to Davis.
Insane.
Yeah, man.
Anyways, fun night. Finally, first one in a little while. Nerve-wracking night.
Yeah.
Long stream too. I will say, if we make a playoff series, you better book out your calendar for hours after the game, because Ashwin and I are never going to stop talking.
Sorry in advance, Maddie.
But yeah, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, because we will be here during the playoffs. We will not be taking any games off during the playoffs. And we will be even doing content on off days in the playoffs. Play-in's going to be insane. We will for sure be a play-in. I'll be at those games, but man, exciting times. We might have a little lull here, but it's going to be an interesting finish of the season. I mean, it's going to be fun to watch the Timberwolves play. It's going to be fun to watch the Lakers, the Nuggets, everyone try to figure out who's what and what seeding is, because everything could be flipped tomorrow. It's pretty crazy. So, anyways, any closing thoughts from you tonight?
No, 20 more minutes and it would have been 2-hour post-game stream.
Oh, see, playoffs 3 hours. We're gonna do shows longer than the games.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Man.
Anyways, I work tomorrow.
12 people watching now, dude. We got to keep going for the 12.
Yes, let's keep going.
Tomorrow or Sunday.
Yes, there we go. But no, I work in 8 hours, so I'm gonna go try to get some sleep. Timberwolves play again on Sunday. We should be back on Sunday night. I think I'll be free Sunday night. I believe. And then obviously all of next week. So we appreciate all the support that you guys have shown throughout the season, tonight in chat. Whether we were a 7 seed, a 6 seed, 4 and 9 to begin the season, through the behind the back passes, the ant highs, the ant lows. I mean, I should be saying this for the last game of the season, but we appreciate you all for showing up and basically showing up for me and Ashwin just talking about basketball. So
sure. This was our Super Bowl after all.
This was our Super Bowl. This was our 87th 77th game 7 of the year. But yes. Anyways, we'll see you Sunday night. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment. Oh, I don't know if we have a word. Doesn't really matter. Nobody did the last one anyways.
Stream.
Yeah, so hot tub stream. All right, we'll see you all Sunday night. 52 wins. Intro
Not in play.
as the outro. We will see you Sunday night.